Dave here, how are you? Today is the 29th of March 2020. Thanks for dropping in, and hopefully you're not suffering from cabin fever quite yet. If you are, I'm doing a midweek little bit of just a chat. There's no woodwork in it, just chatting about what's happening in the world and how it's affecting you and your woodworking. Basically, that's it. I hope you've had a good week, as good as it can be. And let's look into what we're doing this week. On the show today, I'm continuing on with the build of this jointer fence, this thing here, for the jointer plane that I made. And we're going to do some sanding. We're going to set some rare earth magnets in here and also in there using an epoxy resin that's very clear. I'm going to do it in such a way where I was going to do it where I was using brass knurled knobs to lock it in, but I decided against that because I've been mucking around all week with different ways to get this thing to lock beautifully without having anything hanging over the top and dragging against it. Anyway, I'll get to that. Also, I'm building a big storage unit, or I'm actually building 3 storage roll-around units, not a building, but 3 storage units for Vicky. And I've come to the point where I need to do the dados and the rebates. And I was all set to go and buy a 1400 router from Festool, and I'd even placed the order and with their track following guide because I wanted to be able to get it absolutely perfect. And then I thought to myself, you know what, let's just hold on a little bit before I lash out and get that, because it's a beautiful router and I really do want, and I will get one eventually, but I thought right now maybe not the time. But if I didn't have a router, I'd do it. But I've got that little DeWalt trimmer that's got a router base as well. And I'm going to make a jig where I use the Festool track and the TSO's GRS16 parallel edge jig. And I think that I'm onto something here. So we're going to try and make all of that, or we're going to get a start on it anyway, if we have time. So stick with me. You might be interested in a couple of the things I'm going to do. But at the beginning, as I say, I need to sand this. Now, the reason I need to sand this first is I'm going to put the rare earth magnets in here, and they're going to be sitting proud by about 1 millimeter. Now, you're already starting to twig as to what I've got planned. So at the moment, I've given it a quick hit with 220 on here and also this part here, and I'm going to do the rest of it here. Now, to do that, I'm going to jump onto CarlCam. And as I say, it's not just going to be sanding today. There's going to be all the different processes that, through what I've been doing, my research and all that kind of stuff, you might be able to pick up some tips. So I'll get the sander. I'm using the little guy. I don't have Bluetooth on this. I could get a Bluetooth battery for it, but I haven't got one yet. The reason I'm using this little guy is because it's rectangular and I can get in against this rebate. So here we go. You might want to turn the sound down a little bit. And I might go to another camera. How's that? The rebate. This is why I'm using this one. Now, you may also be aware that today I was supposed to have Chris Clark here and we were going to be doing some inlay on boxes. Chris got in touch with me yesterday, the day before I think, and said, Dave, I really don't feel comfortable about traveling. We don't need to travel. Let's postpone this again. So it might be a few weeks, it might be a few months before Chris can make it up. But he's keen to do it. He's keen to do it. He wants to share all this information with you. Going to have a quick sip of drink. Good, 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 good. Now that's pretty much done on a 220. I was talking about using whittle waxes, and I've been practicing with whittle wax, and I love it. And you know, I've used it a little bit on the side of this as well, because there was a spot there after I'd put that grub screw in, or the set screw, that I'd kind of marred the surface, and so I waxed over the top. And a high gloss, I used a high gloss wax. I couldn't use the spray on it at that time, the reason being I'd already put waxes over the top and the spray wouldn't have bonded. So on this thing, what we're going to do is, when I finish sanding and done everything, blah, 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 I'm going to spray it, because I want it to have exactly the same finish as this has. I thought, you know, I might do the wax, but not on this project. This one's already got a set routine, and I want it to look like it's its best mate. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the 220 paper and go to 180. Now, I don't have any more rectangular, so I'm going to put this on. And even though the dust holes won't really line up, I'm going to try and get a couple of them too. Where are we? There's a hole there and a hole there. We've got two of the holes are lining up. Right, I'm going to fold that back. As I say, I'm not using the round machine. The reason being, it's not going to get into the edge of that rebate very well. So now that I've got that, I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to use, I don't know if I should, I'm going to use scissors. They don't like cutting sandpaper. I think I've mentioned that before. There we go, all done. Put this back on here. I want it to get in tight. There you go. If you haven't got the right paper, you can do that. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn the machine back on. How good is that? I've surprised myself on how good it's working. That's really, really nice. You can see already how well that's coming up. I'll hold it up to the camera a little bit closer. Wait for this end to pop. That's going to be beautiful. And the rock maple's looking great. Just that 180, how good is that? All right, next we're going to go to a 220 grit paper. I'm going to use that piece of paper that I've already cut as my template. Put it on the same holes as well. There we go. Nearly I stuffed that up, didn't I? There we go. Beautiful. As I say, if you haven't got any of the specialized paper lying around, well, just work with what you have. There we go. 220. Turn this on. Beautiful. One of the other things I'm going to have to do is, whilst I'm at those grits, I'm going to use this sanding block. This is just a chunk of wood. And I need to do the chamfer there. So I'm going to do that by hand. Beautiful. Because if I don't do it at this stage, I'm going to get down further into it, and the coarser grits I get a cut. And I need to do some coarse grits at this stage in that basically rebate. That's so nice. A little bit more there. Lovely. All right, what's our next grit? 220, we'll go to 320. And that piece of paper. I'm going to use the 180 because why not? It was the one we started off with. There. So whilst I'm doing this, if you're watching the premiere, you can make comment way over on the other side of the screen there as to what you've been doing all week, you know, and if this coronavirus thing is affecting you. Even if you don't watch the show live, you can watch the recording and make comment below. Whilst you're there, have a look in this description box. I've got a couple of links down there as well. All of those things help to keep me alive as well. Beautiful. Look at that red gum. It's just magic. This is a cordless sander. I've only got the dust extractor on it because it really does help. It's got a little bag as well that can go on it. And it's fine when I'm outside and up on scaffolds and things like that painting, but I prefer to have the dusty on it. Why not? If you've got the dust extractor, why not use it? All right, here we go. I need to look on the side to make sure that I've got the right angle. Well, I've got the 45, not a right angle, a 45 degree. Yeah, everyone's talking about it, and fair enough, it's a pretty big deal. I went and bought some plywood during the week, and where I bought it from, there was only one person allowed in the shop at one time. Everyone else had to wait out in the car park. They had a canopy up, chairs, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I wore my dust mask. I should be wearing that, but I wore my dust mask down there as well. And they even made comment. They said, "Wow, that's a trendy dust mask." And I said, "Well, funny you should say that. It is a trend dust mask." What's next? 500 is where I'm going to go to, and I'll cut this with my template again. This is good. The other thing is I was made comment on this chat session is that the work that I've been doing, producing videos for companies, is going to be postponed for a while. And I think that's great because it allows me to focus on my projects as well as, you know, have a little bit more time for these live shows. Well, when I say live, you know what I mean. I forgot what I was talking about. Not to worry. So yeah, so I have more time to get projects done. I have more time to focus on what I'm doing. Because half the thing with these shows and with videos that I do is there's no one else. It's just me. So if I'm saturating all of my thoughts into doing videos for someone else, I'm not having the time to be creative, and I love being creative. So this is going to allow me to get back into my groove and with a smile and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate and don't like doing the other things. I love doing the other videos because then I have a good, very, very good understanding and knowledge of the machines I'm doing the videos about, which is helpful for you, for me, and for the people that ask me to do them for them. All right, next grit is 500. We'll hook into that. Beautiful. Magic. Do along the edge on the chamfer again. Now on the plane I took it to 4,000 and we're going to do that as well on here. And it's like when I was polishing up the front knob on the 220, the Turner 220 block plane, and how when you get to one grit, you think, oh, surely it can't get any better than that. And then you start with the next one, you go, goodness, it does get better. Oh, that's beautiful. Right, next one, 800. Now, it's funny that this grit here, 800, it's marked on the abrasive side, not on the back. You'd think they put the 800 and everything like all the other grits. I don't know why they've done it. I've got no idea. It's a mystery to me. Okay. There, and there. Cut this one. It's a good little idea, this. I was thinking, oh, I haven't got the right paper. I haven't got the paper. I'll have to go and buy a whole heap more. I already had this for the ETS 5. The reason I'm not using the ETS 5, if you only just tuned in, is because it's got a 5mm stroke and it would be bumping into the edge there and it wouldn't do it properly. So that is why. I need to make sure that it does get in all the way. So yeah, let me know what you're doing, whether you've dragged out all of your old VHS videos and watching them on a newer TV. There's going to be a lot of people looking for things to do. So one of the things you can do is to say, you can watch me do this. You can jump in during the week. I'll do some chat sessions as well. It's all about looking after each other. 800. Again, if you've only recently tuned in, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to put some rare earth magnets in there and there, and they're going to sit proud. I can't sand over the top once it's been done. So it's a whole lot easier to do this now, turn that around that way, than try and do it later. Beautiful. And there. I'm guessing a lot of you have never taken sanding down to 800. Most people would stop around 240, or 320 and or 400 maybe, and think, wow, I'm going overboard there. Well, as I say, I'm taking this to 4,000 because I want to finish it exactly the same way as I finished the plane. Okay, so after 800, that's so nice. I don't know if you can see it. But it's beautiful. Come back this way. I'm working overhead, so it's a bit hard to actually spot it all. And then, before I put any finish on it further down the track, I'll hit it with the compressed air and possibly a tack cloth as well. Tack cloth gets all the dust off. Next thing, we're going to, I'm not going to cut these up. This is a 1000 plate. I'll put it straight on. Should be fine. We'll go in there. And the thing with the 1000 and going up to 4000, the spray that I use is designed to go on metals and plastics as well. So it's a spray. The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of the waxes, they say go to 120, don't go anymore because we need to key it in. I went to 4000 with this thing and the spray really held on. So that's what I'm doing. Right. Next thing, 2000. Put it on the machine. See that? It goes on. You can see from both cameras. There, it goes on perfectly around the rectangle of the base of this. Turn this on, and it's I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. One grit to go. 4000 and we're there. See, don't believe me? 4000. Some of you will be saying, thank heavens. I'm sick of you sanding. Ha! Oh dear. I told you it'd come to an end. We'll do this chamfer. And then the base of that rebate. We'll go to the other camera so you can see it. It's just beautiful. That's the figured end up the other end. There we go. And it feels delightful. Just the touch, magic. All right, next thing we're going to do is make it so that it's going to, we've got to put holes in. Now, you can see I've got this shape and I've got a position about here that I want to put a hole in, and I've got another position down here. Now, I did try and get, I was going to use dowel pins. Now, how they work is, for 6mm doweling, you drill your hole in one side, like so I was going to put a dowel in here and there. I drill my 6mm hole and my 6mm hole for the dowels, and then this pin is 6mm diameter, and it's got a cone on the top and a little flange. So it slides into the hole, but won't go, so you can't get it out again. The flange keeps it on the surface. And it's got the pin. Then all you do is you put your mating piece of wood on top and give it a tap with a hammer, and it's put those pin points right where you've got to start your brad point drill to do the next holes. And that's what I was going to show you, but unfortunately it didn't arrive. So, I guess with this Corona thing, that's just all there is to it. Now, to do this, I'm going to drill a 1mm hole, and I don't think it's going to concern me too much. So the thing is, I need to make sure everything mates up very, very well. So we'll go to over the top again. There we are. And we're going to put it that way round so you can see in the top camera where I'm pointing to there, that this end is where I want this to line up with. So I'm going to put that on there and have a look, sneak a look over the edge there. And you can see the end of the rock maple is going to line up with the end of the rock maple in the plane itself. So I'm going to bring this down to about, which way will I do it? I might do it that way. Yep. I'm going to clamp it so that it doesn't go anywhere. Like so. Now that's pulled up nice and tight this way. So the lip that we've been sanding and doing all the mucking around is hard up against the sole of the plane. Next thing, I've got just here, you can see in the overhead camera, I've got this line, and it's 30mm from there to there. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. So I want to half that. The rare earth magnets that I'm using are 19mm. These things here. 19 by 3mm thick. Now they have poles as well, so we've got to be a little bit careful with this. We want it to lock, not push the fence off. And believe me, one of my test pieces actually did that, so we won't talk about that. Please. All right, so what we've got is that there, and I need to use my square, and I think I've got a square here and a pencil. And basically I'm running the square along until I find what I consider to be the highest point. So I'm dragging my pencil along and I see that about there is my highest point. So I'm going to draw a line there. You can see this is where I just eyeballed it, and that's not good enough. I need it to be exact. And then down here, I'm not going to do anything yet. I need to do some measuring first. So I'll get my tape. I've got sandpaper everywhere here. And I'm using this one because it reads metric and imperial. So I like these. I can read them easily. To do this, I'm going to work off. I'm going to pull that out and just let it hang there. I'm going to work off. It'd probably be easier to use an ordinary ruler, but this will do me. So we've got 30mm there. I'm going to read off the metric side, and that's 15 right there. I'm going to do that down here. with the tape around the other direction though, so I can read it easier. And I'm going to put the 30 on the 130 point. You may not be able to see that. You may not be able to see that. Look, believe me, that it's going to work. So I'm going to mark. What I'm doing is where the, let's pretend up here, where the 30 and the 100, 130 and the 100 line up and touch both lines, well then that's where I'm going to put the 15mm mark, but down the end here. So going 30, 100, 15. And that's also a fair bit further away than what I'd expected it to be. I'm going to use a scratch awl, this guy here, and put a very small mark. I don't need a big mark. And one there. I'm going to use, I've already got the 1mm drill bit. Can you believe it? 1mm. Now, it doesn't matter if I'm kind of straight or wonky, because where the drill goes through the two intersecting parts, that will be exactly the same spot. So I'm only going to go through this until I touch. But I'm not bad at holding a drill straight. It's got it in the point there. I'm going to put it on to fast because it's on slow at the moment. Even little drills need clearing, and I can see there was some Padook in the flutes then, so I know that I've gone through and into the next one. You can see it just there. All right, we're going to do this. And there's a little bit of Padook on the end there as well. I'll go just a touch more. That'll do me. All right. Now I can take this off because it's all going to be in the right spot. There we go. Now I've got a hole here, and I've got a hole here, which is the center of the hole that I'm going to be working on. And I've also got a hole there and a hole there. Next thing is that we're going to go over to the drill press, because these ones have got to be very, very accurate. And I'm going to put 6mm deep with a 3/4 inch bit. So I'll switch the cameras over to the drill press. All right. Now you can see here, there I've got the hole there. You may not be able to see that great, but believe me, it's there. I'm going to bring the drill down until the center part that is actually the part that chases. I'm going to change specs for this because this is very important. I need to find there they are, found it. Slightly off camera. These are my close-ups. Ah, that's better. Cool. That is bloody magic. So that's where I'm going to go. Now on this one, I'm going in 6mm or very close to it. So I'm going to get the calipers. And if you haven't seen these things used in this manner, what you do is at the end, when you pull this along, this little part here is actually a depth gauge you put down inside a hole, and it'll tell you the depth. So I'll reset that to 0. I'm going to turn this on to automatic, and I'm going to go down without a stop. I'm going to just go in quietly. Now I'm going to do a quick check. This is the left-hand side of the plane. This is the side that I want the fence on because I'm right-handed. If I was left-handed, I'd probably want the fence on the other side. And I could set this up to do that if I wanted to, but at the moment I'm going to go with this. Now, are you wondering why the dust extraction isn't working? It's because I haven't plugged the right hose in. I had the hose that the sander was running on. So let's just turn that on manual. There she goes. Back to automatic. Now I'm not down 6mm. I need to keep going a bit deeper, and I'm looking at the side of the drill, and if I get down halfway, I reckon I'm going to be very close to 6mm. So we turn it, I'm going to put it back in the hole, make sure that it's right into the spot, turn it back on again. Beautiful. Now we're going to test the depth. We're going to use this guy here and 6.05. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that, as a matter of fact. It's lucky we stopped, isn't it? Now I'm going to slide the plane along, and because the fence is the same distance at this point here back to the drill's center, it doesn't matter if it's angled all over the place. The reference point is going to be right there. So I'm going to slide it up until we get to the next hole, which is there. And I should be right on. There, that's it. Beautiful. So we're going to put a 6mm hole there. Here we go. I'm going very slowly on purpose. I'm not pushing very hard. I'm watching what's happening. Getting very close. I reckon that might be it, but I think we need to go a little bit deeper. Let's see what happens when we put this in. 4.81. Bit deeper. Put the drill into the hole so it's... There we go. Beautiful. Start her up again. How deep now? Oh, 6.77. I'm happy with that. That'll be fine. The resin will take that up. Now, one thing that we didn't do, which I should have done, and I'm going to do it now, I'll switch the cameras over to that one, is I didn't put the contact on. Now I'm going to put contact adhesive on here, so, and I'm going to drill through it again with the drill. It's going to be easy to do, the reason being that fence is going to hold us in position. So put these specs on. And Dr. Greg was saying that he's got trifocals. They sound like an interesting thing. So long-sighted, near-sighted, and medium distance, middle distance. A lot of you won't know what I'm on about there, but believe me, it's coming for you. It's coming for you. I never thought it would affect me at all, but you know, when we're young, we think we're immortal. And a lot of people are treating the virus that way as well. Oh, it won't get me. You tell that to the families of the people that it has actually got now. David, why isn't this coming off properly? There we go. Now, with contact, I always peel a little bit and then put it on there and then peel it out as I'm going. Actually, I'm going to lift that, put it on a little bit better. What a mess. Of course, it's going to be a mess because I'm showing someone how to do something. You know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it across the back and then lift the front. It doesn't really matter what's happening up around the rest of us. Just as long as around the hole, it's really, really good. Use the veneer roller. See the difference after the roller goes over it? Now, I'm doing this because when I put the resin in, I don't want any resin on that surface. And I'm going to do it to that one as well in a second. First of all, we'll drill this hole. Switch it back again so you can see what's happening. And close-ups. Roll that over the back. Yep, lovely. Now I just want to punch down through there. So I'm going to go very slowly. I'm through. And this one. Got it. See that? There was a little tear there, but I think we'll be okay. So now I'll give that another roll. So there we have that ready for pouring resin over the top of, and it's not going to worry anything because I don't want resin on there. We're going to pour it in the bottom of the hole, push the magnet down onto it, have some of the resin flow over, so it protects it. 6mm hole, 3mm thick, is going to leave around about possibly 2.5mm, allowing for the thickness of the resin. This other magnet is going to sit proud by anything around 1, maybe 1.5mm. I don't want them contacting because magnets tend to smash when they get smashed into each other. We're going to pop that to the side. Are you enjoying it? It's something different. I don't know if many people get in and talk about this kind of stuff. You know, it's new days with resins and all that kind of stuff. I'm not using blue tape because I was concerned that the blue tape would tear out. You know, the contact is a little bit more brittle. So as I'm drilling into it, that was my concern. All right, contact on this. Get the scissors out and hopefully we'll get a straight edge. I'm surprised they're cutting anything after the cutting sandpaper. Let me have a look there. Yeah, I'm going to cut it in half. There we go. Yeah, so interesting times at the moment. I'm saying that while I'm trying to get this off. Gotcha. Done. That's all cool. And I've got to put that right over there. That's good. I'll go to the other camera so you can still see what's happening. Yeah, so at the moment it's I've got a box of disposable gloves in the car and also a little pump thing in the center console that I use alcohol hand sanitizer. And even little things like touching my glasses while I'm doing the shopping. I'm picking things up and then putting glasses on, off. Oh. There are so many little things that we just aren't really aware that we're doing. You know, if you've got comment, put it in there. Put it in there. This is also a chat session for people that are watching, or even after the show. Again, as I said, put comment in. About what's important to you. You know, are you concerned about getting the virus? I think probably most people are concerned about getting it. Now this one, my friends, we're going. How nice is that? Maybe I should just leave it like that and not put a finish on it. No, I'm going to clean that off. Yeah, I think most people are very concerned. Now this one we're going to go down 1.5, maybe 2mm deep. So this one I've got to be very, very careful on. And I need to move the fence. I'll switch cameras again. like so. All right. I think we've got it all happening there. Yeah. Move this back. And I may even have to bring the... let's see if I've got the travel in the quill. Not really, David. Look, that's it. So now I'm going to tighten these up. Tighten the fence stops. Good. Lovely. Now the reason it's so important is that lip there. I want these magnets to hold this fence perfectly. I don't want it to be sloppy underneath. I want to put it on, slide up and go lock, lock, and it's done. All right. Scary bears, here we go. We're going to go down 2 millimeters. So pulled it into position, that's fine. I think we're going to be real close. This is where we're going to use these guys again. 1.45. You would have thought it was more than that, wouldn't you? 1.5. I've got to go down a little more. But that's okay. Only just. I'll try and do it so that you're not looking at my arm as well while I'm putting it in there. So I'm just lining it up. Turn her on. Ooh, I don't dare go any deeper. That's going to do me. I don't care if it's right or not. That's going to be it. 1.98. Got to be happy with that. All right, the next one is up there. And again, it's going to be in the right spot because we've lined it up. Done. Start her up. Let's see what we're at. 1.22. You know, it's so important just sneaking it down rather than going, oh, I'll just do a little bit more. She'll be right. Well, sometimes she won't be right. Where are we now? $1.75. That's going to do me. I'm happy with that. All right, there we go. Back to this camera here. Now, we're nearly done. I'm not going to get any work done on the other thing that I wanted to do, but I want to get the resin in and get the magnets in. So this might take 10, might take maybe 15 minutes. But if you're curious to see how I do it, you might want to watch. Okay, so I'm going to use that, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use a skewer. Now everything is clean. I'm not going to worry about things at all really here. That's all cleaned out. The plane also, everything's all cleaned out there. I'll bring the plane up, and I need something also to help push these magnets in. I want to make sure that any of the contact adhesive or contact paper is up and clear. I'll be able to clean all of that off later, but I just want to make sure that it's all good at the moment. That's just beautiful. You know, it takes a while to get a really nice finish when you're sanding, but when you've done it, and when I put some finish on that, it's going to absolutely pop. All right, this is the stuff I'm using. This is a timber coating. You can see what it is there. Now, this is a 1-to-1 mix. I like this one because it kind of stops being fluid in 10 hours and it's fully set basically in 24 hours. I leave it a bit longer sometimes to cure. The longer you leave this stuff, the better. The other stuff, a lot of them take, 7 days to harden up, and that's just a little bit too long for me. Now, I'm not going to mix up a heap. I don't need a heap. And I'm a little bit naughty. I do this by eye. Done. But it seems to work. And the hardener, I think this one is, yep. And there is very similar viscosity, so they're not too hard to pour out a similar amount. I use the back of the skewer to mix it up, like so. And I just stir it in the bottom of the cup. These are disposable cups, obviously. Yeah. I get these things because I throw them away. They're cheap. I had the white ones and I couldn't quite see everything in there. I could see from a certain point, but the clear ones are the easiest. I found these to be the cheapest to get. They say you need to stir this for about 4 minutes. I never do, I cheat. I go a bit quicker. And also temperature is very important for the resin. You need to make sure that the epoxy is, I think the best temperature is around 24 degrees. At the moment we're 20 degrees in here, so it should be okay. And humidity affects it as well, I think, as it's going off. If I was mixing up a big batch, I'd have the respirator on. I am going to put the gloves on in a second because if I start touching, it's not good for your skin. You know what? How about I do put some stuff on, if I can find them. What have I got here? Now that I've said that, I've got to find my respirator. It can sit there for a little bit and cure before I pour it in. There's the respirator and some gloves. I used these when I went out to pick up plywood. So I'm going to sound a little bit weird for a bit, but that's fine. That's better. And that, and that. Always a good idea to put them on too early rather than too late. The prices people are paying at the moment for just those little ordinary dust masks, a lot of money. But I guess someone's got to make a couple of dollars out of this situation. There we go. Keep stirring. I just go around the outside of the rim there. The reason being, it tends to fall across, waterfall across the bottom, and then goes up again and around and around and around she goes. Okay, that's going to do me for stirring. And glasses on so I can see what's going on. And I may also bring this camera over to here. I don't know how this one might get you in a little bit closer with what's happening. Yep, that's not too bad. All right. Hole and hole. I'm going to put just a little bit and around the edge. I need to make sure it goes right the way around the edge. And that's why, my friends, we put the contact there. So it's right the way around. Beautiful. Time to put a magnet in. Now I did say we've got to be careful about polarity. So I'll tell you why. There's two magnets at the moment. They've got to go on this. If I turn that up the other way, it repels. It won't stick. It's got to go that way. So I'm going to get my marker, if I've got it here, and I'm going to put, sorry about my mask making all these noises. Oh, where are they? It's essential we do this with the marker, otherwise we could be in big trouble. There's, found one. Okay, I'm going to put a mark on the outside of both magnets, so I know which is the side that's got to be glued down. All right, in this particular set. So I'm going to separate them now, and it's very hard to do it. And with that side facing down, put it in and just push down very hard. Okay, that's in beautifully. Lovely. Glue at the other end, and I made sure I didn't get any on there as well. 1 and 2. Lovely. Now another pair of magnets. So I want that one. And where's the other magnet that I had? Give me a sec. There it is. Okay, and I need to put them together. That's got it. And I'm going to put 2 dots on this one, like so, and 2 dots on this one, just in case I put it down and forget where I am. All right. Separate them. Come on, come on, come on. It's about 1,000,000 times harder with gloves on. There we go. Okay, and that one down there. The dots have rubbed off, as a matter of fact. But the dots are still on that one, so that's good. I can just see that. I'm going to check. Yes. So that goes that way up. And in. Okay. Now, you might be able to see both of those are ever so slightly raised. I'll put them to the side. Now we're going to work on the plain body without touching resin all over it. Might go back to Cargill for this one. There we go. Like so. Move this out of the way. Now this one can have a little bit more resin. The reason being I need to coat all the way up the side. And then I want resin to wash over the top of the magnet as well. It's going to be a cushion. And my magnet here has the dot, remember? There's the dot on that side. That one goes down. Now these are a tight fit, so I need to push it down with something. I have a paintbrush. Now these may even rock around because there might be an air bubble caught down there. So I keep constant pressure on it. and wobble it around. Beautiful. That is down deep enough. Do the other end. Yeah, being a tight fit, just got to be careful because it's basically a seal that I've created. Lovely. And the 2 dots on that side. Just had a sneaking suspicion that I had them the wrong way around. Now I've got to, I really do have to check. This could be trouble otherwise. Oh, it's right, it's right. I hope I can get it out without pulling those magnets out. I can. Got one. Bugger, I've got to get that out. Both of them pulled out. Not good, not good, not good. David, David, David. Push that down. What am I going to do? What am I going to do there? Always happens, doesn't it? I have to think very carefully here. Can I go down the side and raise it? I can. I got it out. Quickly separate it and remember what goes where. That one goes in and that one goes back. It's the front one. Yes. That way. So it's got to go that way up. Scary bears. There's something for everyone. You've got to make sure you label both ends. That's down beautifully. Got to get this one out. Up she comes. I was lucky. I was so lucky. Okay. Separate and push them straight in on the back. Beautiful. And down. Down. Good. Good. Excellent. Now I'm going to put a little bit of resin over the top of the magnet as well. This stuff self-levels. So I'll spread it out. And this one. Done. Done. Whoa. What do you think? I have a gas torch there. And what I'm going to do is I'll leave this sit for a little while. I'll take these off for the moment. See, worthwhile putting them on. Straight in the bin. All of that out of the way. Right, so I'm going to let that level out. I'll let the bubbles come to the surface. Then I'm going to get the heat torch, this guy here, and I'll just give it ever so light. And you know what? The other thing, I may not. It depends. If I melt that contact, I'm going to be in all sorts of bother. So I'm going to look at it and see if it's horrible enough, I'll do it. If it's not horrible, the bubbles aren't horrible enough, I might just get a skewer and pop them individually. That might work. But what do you reckon? Now I've got to leave this. I don't even be tempted when it's getting, you know, almost hard. Don't be tempted to stand it up or try it. I'm going to put this away for possibly at least a day, and then peel the contact off and see what we've got. All right. Okay, I'm going to switch the cameras. I always get an itchy nose after I wear the dust mask. Well, that was fun. As I said, I was going to try and make something as well to go with the GRS16. I'm basically going to use the back side of my track saw's track, not the side that the saw runs on, but the other side as a straight edge, and using this on the far side and create a kind of couple of steps with some ply. I'd had it all lined up here to go in the thicknesser, but we ran out of time with this, and this is something I just could not afford to rush. So that's so much fun. This is going to look really, really nice. Next thing I've got to do is get the jigsaw out and cut the shape, all that kind of stuff. We might leave that till next week. And again, Chris sends his apologies that he couldn't be here to do the thing with his boxes, the inlay. We'll wait on that one. It'll happen eventually. All right, go over to put the, which ones? Don't even know where the other specs are. There they are. These are the mid-range. This is where I can see the screen. It's pretty small anyway, just for anyone with good vision. It's around 5 feet away from me, so reading small text is a little bit of a challenge anyway. So we've got all that and that. As I say every week, thank you very much for all my patrons, especially at the moment. You're keeping me alive. And thank you to everyone's using the links in the description box as well. That also helps. And look after yourselves, be nice to each other, and I shall see you, if not during the week, I'm going to try, be next week. See you later. Bye.